Friends, welcome back. In a previous video, you learned how to find the area of a polygon, and then you learned how to find the area of a polygon using trig. Now, if you're anything like me when I was your age, I thought, oh, for reference triangles, I don't need to know that. I can just use trig. No, you got to use your reference angles because we want to get you to reduce this as much as possible so the most exact answer being with your radicals. So let's talk about that. Just a quick reminder, the area, in case you don't know it yet, area equals apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So apothem stands for A, our perimeter stands for P. Once again, I've labeled all of my stuff here. I think if you lay it out like this, every time I have a student lay it out like this, they succeed and they don't mess anything up. So I think it's a good idea to make sure that you're writing all these things down. So let's start with the number of sides for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides here, which means our central angle is 360 divided by 6. That gives us 60 degrees. So I'm going to draw out this triangle that I have here. Dot, 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 dot. That means this thing right up here is 60 degrees. So that's this triangle right there, except drawn much better. Now I'm going to draw it in half, right? So let's cut that guy in half. So like that and like that. So this apothem is 5 root 3, but this angle now is 30 because we always take our central angle and we have to cut it in half. So the apothem is 5 root 3. Now let's talk back. If you have any struggles with your reference triangles, pop back a couple videos and make sure that you watch that. So opposite 30 is our m. Our hypotenuse is double that, and this is m root 3. So that means that if this is m root 3, our m is going to have to be 5 because 5 root 3 equals m root 3, which means this side right here is 5, and this is 2 times our m, which is 5, so this is going to be 10. Okay, so now that we know this, we know that this is 10. That we don't even care about, really. That's just a radius that goes out. But this is 5, which means the whole bottom part is 10, so the length of one side is 10. Length of each side? 10, which means our perimeter is 6 times 10, which gives us 60. All right, we're ready now to use our formula. So the area equals and if it says use reference triangles, or if you have a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45 triangle, you should always do most reduced form, like simplest radical form. So we're going to do that. Keep that in mind. Our apothem, which is 5 root 3, times our perimeter, which is 60, divided by 2. So let's make our lives easier. Divide this by 2, we get 1. Divide this by 2, we get 30. So that gives us 5 times 30 is 150 root 3 units squared. So our answer is 150. Our area is 150 root 3 units squared. So if you had used regular trig here, you would not have gotten root 3, you would have gotten a decimal, and you would have gotten the question wrong. So it is vitally important you know these reference triangles, especially if you're going to go on to algebra 2 or trigonometry or calculus and pre-calc. Those reference triangles are really helpful. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one. We have our central angle. Well, first, number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So 360 divided by 6 gives me 60 degrees. So the length of each side we do not know, but our apothem is 7. So at this point, I'm going to draw just the half triangle so you can see. We know that this is 7 right here. And now the central angle is this guy right here. That's 60, but we need to cut it in half. So this guy right here is 30 degrees. So it helps to use a different color. We're going to say opposite 30 is our m. Our hypotenuse is double that. This guy right here is m root 3. So for the sake of this triangle, we have 3 equations. We have 7 equals m root 3. And then we've got 2m and m. In order for us to figure out 2m and m, we've got to figure out m. And so right here, in order to get m, we're going to divide both sides by root 3. So m equals 7 root 3. We're done, right? Just kidding. No, we have to rationalize denominators. We are not allowed to have radicals in our denominators. So we're going to multiply by root 3 times root 3. So m equals 7 root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is 9, root 9, which is 3. Okay, so this bottom part here is 7, instead of m, it's just 7 root 3 over 3. So that is 7 root 3 over 3. Now 2m, so we do 2 over 1 times 7 root 3 over 3. That's going to be 14 root 3 over 3. So this guy right here is 14 root 3 over 3. Fortunately, I don't care about that one because that's that slanty bit. That's the radius of that polygon. What I do care about is this bottom one. This bottom one is half of one side, so I do need to double it in order to get the full side. So if I take, just like I did up here, if I take 7 root 3 over 3 and I double it, multiply it by 2 over 1, I get 14 root 3 over 3. So each side is 14 root 3 over 3. And the perimeter is 14 root 3 over 3 times the 6 sides. So put that over 1. And if I do that, I have, let me make this a little bit bigger for you. I have 14 root 3 over 3 times 6 over 1, because there are 6 sides. I can cross cancel. Divide that by 3, I get 1. Divide that by 3, I get 2. All of that's going to be over 1, so I don't care about that. 14 times 2, that gives me 28 root 3. So 28 root 3 is my perimeter. Whew, this is why I tell you to organize your information, because otherwise it gets to be all sorts of disastrously messy. So now we are in a position to be able to find our area. So let's do that. We've got the area equals the apothem, which is 7, times our perimeter, which is 28 root 3. All of that divided by 2. Okay, so we could do 7 times 28 divided by 2, but let's just cross cancel. Divide by 2, we get 1. Divide by 2, we get 14. So now we have 7 times 14, which gives us 98. So 98 root 3 units squared. That is our area. If this seems confusing, don't sweat it. I'm going to do 2 more. If you understand it, there's not much else coming up that you don't have to watch the other 2 examples if you don't want to, but if you do need them, let's do it. So let's take a look at this guy right here. All right, so the first thing we want to figure out, number of sides. We have, let me find a different color because the vibe is off with that color. Red is very aggressive. I don't know. Okay, we need good vibes here when we're doing math. All right, so we've got the number of sides. It's 4 because it's a square. That means the central angle is 360 divided by 4, which gives us 90 degrees. The length of each side, we don't know yet. So we don't know the perimeter, but we don't even know the apothem. We only know the radius. Jeez. Blech. All right, so I'm going to draw this triangle out. So here is our triangle. I'm going to flip it around so that you can see. All right, so here's our triangle. We've got 4 root 2. Now remember, when we do our half triangle, we have to take that central angle that we found, we have to cut it in half. So this is 45, which means this is also 45. 45, 45 triangles. Remember, this is M, this is M, and then the hypotenuse is M root 2. So just looking at that, M root 2, that must mean that M is 4, because M root 2 equals 4 root 2. Divide both of those by root 2, you end up with M equals 4. So we can say this guy right here, I'll just get rid of that, is 4, and this is 4. All right, so that's awesome because now we have our apothem, which is this side right here. Our apothem is 4. Now, this is just, remember, half of the triangle because we cut our central angle in half, so it's only half the triangle. So the length of the whole side is 8. So length of each side is 8, which means our perimeter is 4 times 8, which is 32. All right, now we are ready to use our formula. Area equals apothem, which is 4, times the perimeter, which is 32, all divided by 2. Let's cross cancel. Divide by 2, we get 1. Divide by 2, we get 16. 16 times 4 is 64 units squared. Okay, so the area of that guy would be 64 units squared. All right, one more example, just in case if you're struggling, then this will help you out. So on this guy, we have 3 sides, which means our central angle is 360 divided by 3, which equals 120. I got ahead of myself there. So I have, this is the triangle that I'm going to draw. So I have this triangle like that. And since it's the half triangle, we got to do half the central angle. So this is 60 degrees here. I also know that this is 6. So the length of each side, we don't know. Oh, but the apothem is 6 because that's this thing right here, as opposed to the radius, which we had here, the radius going like that. Okay, so looking at this, I'm going to use not red, but let's use green, light green. Okay, so if this is 60, ooh, this has to be 30. Remember, opposite 30 is your m. Your hypotenuse is double that, and this is m√3. So looking at this, our hypotenuse here is the radius of this guy, and I don't really need that. But this side is, so if our m is 6, then this is going to be 6√3. So we're going to get rid of this, and that's going to be 6√3. So if this thing is 6√3, this thing is also 6√3. That means the length of one side is 12√3. Don't be trying to add √3 and √3 because it's the same as if you had 6x plus 6x. That would give you 12x. We don't mess with x, right? So 6√3 plus 6√3 is 12√3. Just a little pro tip for you. Okay, so now that we have this, we have our perimeter. 3 times 12√3. That gives us 36√3. All right, now we've got all this information. We are ready to use our formula. Words are hard. Let me find the absolute perfect color for this. Pink. Let's do it. Area equals the apothem, which is 6, times our perimeter, which is 36√3, all divided by 2. Divide by 2, you get 1. Divide by 2, you get 3. Look at that cross canceling. Area equals 3 times 36 is 108√3 units squared, and there is our area. Notice in all of those, I left those in simplest radical form, so don't be thinking like I did at your age where I was like, oh, I'll just totally use trig, it'll be fine. You can't. You gotta learn your reference angles. Hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.